right, we are ready for our first project of designing an app. So, lesson three of unit one, we're going to start by thinking about the types of user interfaces that we've encountered that don't work. Don't work for us for whatever reason. Maybe the user interface doesn't meet your needs. Maybe there's a problem, or maybe the designers didn't understand something about you or your needs. So, some examples could be that there was too much guidance on how to use the app, or not enough guidance on how to use it. Maybe it was designed for a phone, but you want to use it on a tablet. Or maybe they made some assumptions about the language usage or interests for you, and they were completely incorrect. This just brings up the point that it's important to understand the end user and when you're designing the app. So, yesterday we learned about design mode, and today you're going to start developing your own app that educates the user on a topic. This is a project that we will continue through the rest of the unit. There are five total lessons throughout the unit dealing with this particular app. So, first thing you need to do is choose a partner. You are allowed to work alone if you prefer, but just know that your partner and you are going to need to discuss some elements of this app verbally and or code together, or not code together, design together or see each other's screens. So I would suggest it be somebody who you can communicate with either in class or outside of class. If you want to work alone, again, that is totally okay. So the next thing you're going to do is go to the classroom page and open the app development planning guide. Now, hopefully you have a paper copy of this. Hopefully I remember to give that to you if you prefer to work on paper. But if your only option is to work on this on the computer, note that this is a PDF and you are going to need to open it with DocHub in order for you to be able to edit it. If you don't know how to do that, go back to my classroom page and look under course resources. And I have a DocHub instructions video that will walk you through the entire process. So do that, then come back here and continue opening your app development planning guide in DocHub. All right, so go ahead and read through the project description. Make sure that you understand the requirements for this app. Remember, it's um, an informative app. And then you'll move to step one. And step one is to brainstorm some topic ideas. You are going to teach your classmates, that's your end user in this case, you're going to teach them about any topic that you and your partner agree on, but go ahead and come up with some ideas. You could come up with three, your partner could come up with three, and in the end, you'll choose one that you will both work on together. So, could be a hobby, something that you've been interested in learning about yourself, piece of your personal history, something you think your classmates should learn more about. Could even be something for another class, some study material that maybe you could use for another class, like the periodic table or states and capitals or whatever. Okay. So you're going to write down those three ideas that you have for your app. Next is step two, choosing a topic. So remember that collaboration is going to be a big part of the development of this app. Your team, your two people in this case, but typically in an app development scenario, your team has diverse ideas that are going to make your app even better. They're going to avoid bias. So one person may say that, oh, all teenagers work after school to earn spending money, but if your partner doesn't have an after school job, then they're coming from a different viewpoint. And you want to make sure that you're both contributing to this and looking out for things like that that could be considered bias. On step two, you are going to choose the one topic and then you're going to explain what information your app is going to give. So, an example here, if your topic is basketball, you would write a few sentences here explaining that you would cover the rules and the origin of the sport. You're not going into every single piece of information that's going to be included in that app, but just that much. Oops. And then Step 3, you're going to interview classmates. Now, you need to interview at least 2 people who are not part of your team. So, 2 people in your class, and if you want to email them and ask them these questions, or if you're not able to do it in person, but I would say a verbal conversation would probably be better. Put their name here. What do they already know about your topic? And what do they still want to learn about your topic? This will help you to make sure that you're not providing an informative app that everybody already knows all this stuff. You're trying to um, you're trying to educate your consumer, right? So you want to make sure that you're choosing information to put in your app that people don't already know, but also not going way above their head either. And then step 4 is the design phase. So in this case, you are actually kind of drawing out, sketching out what information is going to be on each of your screens. You have 4 here. And again, if you're doing this in DocHub, there are some things you can use. You can add text, you can draw freehand, add some shapes, add some lines, um, highlight, I think that is, or add some different shapes. So there's not a whole lot of things that you can add here, and images too. There's not a whole lot that you can do, but hopefully you have it in paper form and you can actually draw those things out. But here's an example of what it should look like. You've got your home screen, and then, hey, if I click this button, flavors, it's going to go to the flavors screen. And this is the information that's going to be on the flavors screen. And on the flavors screen, I'm going to have a home button that's going to take me back to the home screen, or a nutrition button that's going to take me to the misspelled nutrition screen, and things like that. So you're going to use those arrows just to kind of show where the button takes you and what it does. And you have 4 screens on here. I would suggest not including more than 4 screens for this project. Let's see what else. Um, Everything else besides step 4 is going to be completed at a later time. So that's where I would stop. Just make sure that you get all of that completed before it's time for the next lesson in class. But one final thought, think about how talking with the users of your app impacts your design decisions. And the following lessons, you'll continue to plan and create apps. We are following a development process, and it's similar to what developers use in the real world when creating their own apps. The development process just breaks down the steps into small pieces, and we've completed the first few of our pieces today. There are many different versions of the development process. Most of them use some combination of investigating and reflecting, designing, prototyping, and testing. Development processes can be ordered like we have laid out in the activity guide, in the planning guide, or they can be more exploratory in nature. And as we continue through this project, reflect on the steps and consider how they help organize the process.